Hey kids, it's JJ. Sorry about the mess on the desk. I had to set some stuff up for my job, for work, and it was just too hard to take it off just to do the simple overview. This was originally supposed to be a review on a flight controller and a bunch of other stuff. That did not happen because, hang on a second, this is what we got. It's the Toad frame, and it's a 90 millimeter carbon fiber frame. I really like it. It's very similar to the Aurora 100, obviously, almost identical. Difference is the colors of the struts and a little bit of aluminum changeover. This was an absolute nightmare. This was supposed to be a nice fresh build to do a couple reviews of Racerstar 1103 motors and a special flight controller and ESC. Long story short, I'm not even getting into it. If you look back a couple videos ago, I did a build and it was actually in this frame, which I am going to build back up because I really dig this frame. It's really cool. And it flew really great for a second, and then I got this spin of death. I could not figure it out. I checked everything. I swapped flight controllers, I swapped ESCs, I swapped motors, and then it would fly one time and then do it again. Well, it turns out, long story short, I thought, well, maybe I put a motor screw in too far and shorted out a winding or something like that. And actually, I told my buddy Blackhawk that I did do that, and that is not the case. The case is, these little motors can only run on 2S max. Now, these are Racerstar BR1103Bs, okay? 10,000 kV 1103 motors. It says in the description, they can run 2 to 3S. They cannot run 3S. I smoked 2 of them. Trust me when I say, you will blow a phase if you try to run this on 3S. At least I did on my batteries. My batteries are kind of strong. They're 550 ADC, 550 milliamp ADC, and it flew for a second. As soon as I did a spin, where drew the most amount of amperage, I lost a phase and you just start twitching. And I just chased my ass forever. Long story longer, I ended up blowing 2 motors, and I also fried out a flight controller. So this is my super Toad, and the reason I say it's my super Toad is this is running a full-size Kakute F3 flight controller. I don't know if you can see that in there. It's kind of messy. Yeah, and it's running a 12 amp ESC, all-in-one ESC that did come with that particular flight controller. I'll do a review on that flight controller and the ESC when I can, because I did buy 2 of them. However, these motors, they're 10,000 kV. They are good little motors, but remember, it's going to be 2S. This is a 66 gram all weight in, except for the battery. Total with props, 66 grams. And 12 amp ESCs, 3S pops the motors, 2S, it runs pretty decent. It's as fast as a Baby Hawk anyway. I don't have it tuned in real great, but right after this little video here, this introduction, there's some FPV footage. Yeah, after a lot of trial and error, these little motors do work well, don't get me wrong, but it says in the description on Banggood, they run 2 to 3S. Save yourself a couple bucks, do not use 3S on these. So this is my Super Toad, a micro brushless running a full-size flight controller. It's a 30 by 30 mount flight controller with a 20 by 20 ESC buried underneath it. And I literally used double-sided tape, my favorite 3M tape here, to put everything in it. There's no screws holding it in or anything, and it's actually really stable. And I do have the 2550 200 milliwatt 2-piece transmitter in this one, set to 50 milliwatt. And yeah, she flies pretty well for a little 2S. I'm not really used to flying 2S. I've gotten pretty used to the 3S micros. So stay tuned. If you have any questions, give me a shout. This is a totally informal, it's not really a review of anything. Just beware if you buy these little motors, which they are pretty cool, but they will not run 3S. If you've gotten them to run 3S, let me know how you did it. Keep shining side up. Talk soon. Bye.
Gentlemen, here comes the night.